Did you watch the Corvus Belli Adepticon 2025 seminar and find yourself thinking, but what does it all mean? Let's find out together. Welcome to the Dice Gods. My name is Hydra, and today we are going to look at the exciting, interesting, and thrilling things which were announced at the Adepticon seminar by Carlos from Corvus Belli just a couple of days ago as I record this. This video is going to be based on the non-live version, the pre-recorded version they stuck up on their channel, because I find that more interesting. So if there were any more releases or information, well, any more information in the live seminar, especially during the Q&A, then I won't have that here. But you can go and watch that. First of all, if you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe, and do consider signing up and becoming a member of the channel, because it helps us do more. It means I can justify spending more hours talking to you lovely people. But with all of that said, let's get into this. And we're going to start not in the order that Carlos did it, but in the order that I found it interesting, which is going to upset some of you with what comes last. But we'll get there. Now, interestingly, one thing that Carlos did say on the video is that this is kind of the next 3 months of stuff, bar one thing. So what you're looking at here is really the stuff that's just coming up, the stuff that we're just about to see. And we're going to look at what is coming up and what that means and what my thoughts are and what my feelings are on the stuff as it appears. So let's start with vehicles, because we got a lot actually in this seminar. So there we go. Our first one, the Firebat Attack Wing 4012 Torchlight Brigade, our first flyer. As a miniature, it's okay. I mean, the thing is, for vehicles for Infinity, it kind of, they're cool, but I'm still not convinced. I wasn't convinced when I saw the stats. I'm not convinced that I've seen the miniatures. I don't know, I don't get it. It doesn't gel with me. But let's look at the actual stats of this guy. So 36 or 42 points, depending on whether you take a light rocket launcher or not. 8-2 movement, as a lot of them are. BS-12 is okay. You know, that's fine. Arm 3 to structure. Aerial, unsurprisingly. BS, SR -1, so save and roll -1. Courage dodge -3. Yeah, it's fairly standard. The mimetism -6 is very tasty. Jet propulsion, of course. Terrain total, yep. This all makes sense. It's fine. I think the submachine gun +1 burst is okay, really, and the Thunderbolt +1 burst on the 36-point version is okay. This guy doesn't really wow me. I think there are probably better options. If you look on the top right there, you can see you can take this in Torchlight, you can take this in 012. I think if you have 36 points or 42 points, there are almost certainly better places that you can put this than in this guy. I think it's fine. I think it'll be fluffy and a bit of fun. Do I think it'll make many appearances in competitive play? Like I say, I think there are many better options that you can take. But I'm always open to improve it. So, the Firebat. Then we have the Red Eye, which is Kestrel, unsurprisingly. Weirdly, I'm more okay with this because of the situation on Shinju and this being like an open planet that they're trying to sort of patrol and all the rest of it. I'm more accepting of that, and I know all this could be argued to be taking place on Shinju. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily still gel with me, but I think I prefer this actually. I think this is better than the 012 guy. I think it looks nicer. I think it's a pretty miniature. Stats wise, 8-2 BS-13 because Pano. That's why. Arm 6, but of course. And BTS-6, you can't hack the thing, you can't kill the thing. Fine. Mimetism -6. Lovely. The rest is pretty much the same, apart from the fact that this guy comes with a Spitfire and a chain rifle and a Blitz and a grenade launcher. for 44 or 45 points and 1.5 SWC. Yes, more SWC. It is very intensive to stick that much SWC on something that is no cover. And yeah, okay, 6 armor is going to make it a little bit more durable. This is a bit more interesting to me than the O12 variant, I have to be honest with you. The fact that it actually has got some substantial sort of fire output, decent burst rate sort of thing is a lot more interesting. But it's yeah, 44 points. Again, could you do something better in Pano or in Kestrel? Probably. But I'd be more open to taking this in the competitive list, I think. I think there is possibly more mileage in this. The other one's just too squishy. It's too many points and too squishy. The Go Pods. So the Go Pod comes with an extra little munchkin with a flash pulse on it. So that's nice. We have a multi-rifle, or we have the heavy rocket launcher AP submachine gun. The version that's modelled is actually the multi-rifle. If we go back, that's the multi-rifle variant. I'm assuming that this isn't going to be like a multi-part kit where you can make one or the other like the drones. It would be cool if they did for the remote, sorry. It would be cool if they did that for this. I don't see them doing it. I understand that this stuff is all going to be resin plastic. They said that in the presentation, which would lead me to believe it's Unicool, like the tick balloon that we had last year, which it was really nice. It's much better material than Seacast. It's crisper, it's a lot less work to put together, although it is a bit fragile. I had found that. Drop it and it tends to crack. But then Seacast did that but worse. So yeah, anyway. So the multi-rifle variant there, with emitter and the GoBot. So the GoBot with flash pulse and the chain colt is cute. That can do some work, synchronized. So the main one, BS attack -3, +1 burst on the shooting, arm 2, see again it's the weak arm, only the mimetism -3 because we're nomads so everybody hates us. The rest of it's pretty standard, but yeah, the BS attack -3 is useful, the BS attack +1 burst is useful, mimetism -3, arm 2, especially with no cover, not ideal. Multi-rifle's okay. I mean, you've got a bit of utility through ammo versions there, but you're still 0.5 SWC and 38 points, which is a lot, to be honest. For something that's potentially going to, just get fragged off the board with that armor. I don't know. It still feels a bit squishy. The heavy rocket launcher is interesting, but again, that's cheaper. It bears thinking about. Possibly the heavy rocket launcher bears thinking about, but especially with that saving roll -1, you can hear how convinced I am. But so, and this is a weird thing to me as well. If you look at who this is available to, this is with the generic, this is with Bakunin, and this is with Tunguska, but it's not with Corregidor. And this just feels like a Corregidor thing to me. This feels like something they'd stick an Alguacile in and send her out into the world. And apparently, those are the only people that don't get them. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody. But then, Corregidor didn't get the Mars spiders, and that made perfect sense to me as well. So at this point, apparently I'm just not getting it. But anyway, so that's the GoBot. Not ridiculous. Competitive? Not necessarily, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll be interested to see what people think. Interested to see what you guys think in the comments. So please let me know. Do you see a place for these vehicles in your lists? I would be interested to know. And then we come to Ariadna. You guys. We know N5 has done a number on you guys and continues to do so, but you got tanks, so it's not awful. I mean, these are little cute tanks. Look at them. Yeah, Silhouette 4. Oh, they're just cute. Just cute little guys. But they've got neurosynetics. Yeah. Right, so let's go through these stats. BS 12, Whip 12, Armor 2, Structure 2. Again, squishies or hell. The Silhouette 4 is fine. ECM guided -6, okay. An extra sort of buff on the BS attack, and you get shock, which is all lovely. Courage, remote presence, and sapper. Sapper's nice, they can dig themselves in. This is cute. They can give themselves cover wherever they want to be. So you can set your little tanky up and leave him there. Standard variant there with the AP sniper rifle and the light rocket launcher. These are quite lengthy range bands. These guys need to stay back downfield, but 23 points and 0.5 SWC is not awful. The Neurocynetics portable autocannon with light rocket launcher. It would be good if there was a standard variant of that. If you could have it without the Neurocynetics. Yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot at the moment of Corvus Belli leaning units into a specific role, and I feel like they've really done that with the portable autocannon variant there. It's like, this is your ARO piece, but I want to hit people with it in my active phase. You can't do it, you bad little player. You have to do it, you know? Especially for 1.5 SWC and 32 points. That's a lot to spend on a Dakar turret, basically, of ARO goodness. Not the most horrible idea, especially because it's got sappers, so you can dig it in and you can get, not convinced. Would have preferred to have the option for the portable autocannon, but maybe that'll come later. Who knows? And that's generic and Tartary as well. There seems to be a bit of Tartary love with this release. We'll get some more of that in a minute. Right, on to Pano. The drummers. Hyper Rapid Magnetic Cannon, which is now just HMC, whereas it used to be HRMC, it's now HMC. The marksman rifle on the actual drum themselves, and the Feuerbach, which I'm still mispronouncing. Sue me in the comments. It's an auxiliary. It's a Neo-Terran auxiliary that has just been given their pocket money and spent it on all the toys. It is. But let's look at the stats on this thing. A very good friend of mine, Gio, doesn't see it. He doesn't feel the love for this particular beastie. And I'm not with him on it. We disagree on a few things. This is one of the things that we disagree on. So let's have a look at the stats on the actual unit itself, then we'll look at the bot. So 4-4 movement, CC 14, yeah, BS 13. Okay, so we have got a reasonable gunfighter here. PH10, it can't dodge, so we shoot him, we're not dodging out that way. A whip 12, it's Pano, therefore it's done as a post. 1 armor, 1 Vita, 3 BTS, yep, all standard. A 360 visor, because you don't want to shoot this guy on the back, obviously that would be rude. The marksman rifle, a standard, then you can do a forward deployment or a forward observer. Now, that forward observer with Drumbot 5 at 21 points is an auxiliary. It is. It's a forward observer with a forward observer bot with a heavy flamethrower and a flash pulse. It is. That's an auxiliary. It's an updated auxiliary. Fine. The 360 visor, because of course. Anyway, the other variants all change the weapon that you can have. A multi-heavy machine gun. It's just terrific. I mean, bear in mind, these drum bots are BS 13 as well. They have got a 360 visor. They have got mimeters of -3. So you stick this bot, because it's peripheral sync, you stick it within 8 inches of the drummer unit, stick it out of cover, so it's -6 to hit. There's 1 armor, so it's in cover, so it's going to be 4 armor. It's got a 360 visor, so you're not sneaking up on the dang thing. And then it's got a multi-HMG, or a hyper-rapid magnetic cannon, or a Feuerbach with +1 burst, or a Mark 12 with +1 burst and forward deployment, and a light rocket launcher with potential survival 6. Or the previously discussed forward observer. I mean, 42 points for a 360 visor marksman rifle and a 360 visor hyper rapid magnetic cannon, HRMC, Corvus Belli, I'm sorry, but it is, with that potential -6 to hit for 42 points. It's not awful. It's not. I think they're fun. I think they are potentially the unpleasantness that your opponent doesn't want to face, because it's just this mobile turret that you can wander off downfield. And yes, the drum bots are expensive. If you look on the bottom right there, 26 down to 6 points for the forward observer version. But you can lose that without losing an order. And then these guys can be stood back up. They've got structure, so you know, I like him. I do like him. AVA4, possibly a little excessive. Possibly a little excessive. It does mean that for a 300-point list, you could take 4 of them, all with hyperrapid magnetic cannons, because that would fit within the SWC, and you would be, what, at 164 points? No, 168 points, sorry. 168 points. So you have just half the list in 4 drummers, but I do not see any problem with that whatsoever. And hyperrapid magnetic cannon goes burr. To be honest with you, that's not a bad thing. So yeah, Kestrel generic for those guys. Jing. So this has got a distinctly Imperial Service sectorial feeling to it, which is understandable. We've just had the release of the action pack, so yes, they're going to be plugging in the gaps over the next couple of months. Makes perfect sense. So the Wooming Assault Corps. These guys are a good central fire team for ISS, so it's good that we're getting some. So, and I love the face masks on these. I think they look brilliant, and it reminds me of Daredevil. It's just got that feel to me. Anyway, so HMG and the boarding shotgun. So the AVA5. Now the great thing about these guys, so ISS or Ikari, nowhere else do we get these, but BS13, Fist 12, Whip 12, Armor 4, BTS 6, and 2 Vita. So these are a very sort of middle of the road, pure, heavy infantry. They are just HI. That is their whole shtick. And you can see that with the +1 inch dodge and the immunity to shock. There's no frills or tricks on these guys. They are just a beat stick of violence. Build the pain train, throw it at the opponent. Now we have, I think it's the multi-rifle that's in the ISS standard box. Here we have a boarding shotgun. So that gets us the wonderful tin bot firewall -6 for 22 points. And then we have the HMG, which is an AP HMG variant as well. 33 points, 1.5 SWC. 33 points for an AP HMG on a BS13 unit is not bad, especially when these guys can form core, duo, and Harris fire teams. They're actually quite a handy fire team to put together, and I think they're kind of a central unit, especially if you want to go for that kind of heavy build for ISS. They are a core unit for that. When we look at kind of what else can go with them, you can get the Jing. Now, supposedly, if I understand it correctly, we're getting those 2 Wooming, these 2 here, plus the Jing, which comes next. To form a Wooming fire team, you need at least 1 Wooming, so you're now up to 3 if you've got the core box as well. And the Jing has the Wooming keyword, so it can join and remain pure. So you can get up to, with this box that's coming out with the 2 Wooming plus the Jing and the Wooming that's in the ISS box, you are going to get to a core fire team, basically a 4 dude core fire team with that +1 BS. These are going to be BS14 effective with that multi-rifle, with the grenade launcher, with the EM grenade launcher, with the boarding shotgun, or with the AP HMG, which is not to be sniffed at. And you're looking at what, 60, 82 plus the Jing. I'm going to skip forward to spoilers for a second. So you're going to get change out of 90 point. No. Should we do the maths properly? You're going to get change just over 100 points. Yeah, just over 100 points we're going to be at. 60, 82, 82, 102, 107 if you take it with the hacker variant. So that's not 102 points for a 4-trooper fire team with a boarding shotgun, AP HMG, multi-rifle grenade launcher, EM grenade launcher, and a hacker in it is not ridiculous, actually. That's quite tasty. I would not sniff at that. And then, unsurprisingly, as I say, we have the Jing. So this is, I think this is a redo. This is a resculpted miniature, but it's pretty miniature. And yeah, CC18, BS12, Fist 10, Whip 13, which is fine. Arm 1, BTS 6, Fighter 1, Dodge +1 inch, so it can keep up with the women as they dodge around the board. Immunity to BTS, and he comes with 6th Sense. Now, the hacker comes with the upgrade 0 pain, so being hacked, he gets to ARO with 2 dice, which is cool. The breaker combi is nice, the picture is nice, the decharges are nice. And in that fire team, because he does have the keyword, or she has the keyword, probably a dude, you're going to be at BS 13 because you've got the matching keyword. So, yeah, that's quite handy. I'm not going to complain about running those at all. So those are nice additions, although they're not new, they're new sculpts, and yeah, that's nice. Then we have the Shenji Jing, Divine Machine Battalion. Don't have a render for that I noticed. So this little bundle of fluff and happiness is an engineer. That's what we're looking at. An engineer that can spam stuff. So the one in here, but it looks like that's a combi rifle. So that's just the standard one at the top there with the Arclight Cannon. But let's run through the stats. BS 12, Phys 11, Whip 13, Arm 2, 1 Vita, the Activity Gizmo Kit, and a special skill that makes the any engineer rolls on Whip 14, which is pretty good. Whip 14 is pretty good for an 18-point engineer. The decharges have got potential survival 5 on them, which is not unpleasant. There is also the wonderful ability to spam deplorable cover, or to put an emitter arm turret, or a +1 burst adhesive launcher rifle in there too, because, you know. And these all come in at between 18 and 21 points and 0 SWC. They're fairly filthy. Only available in Imperial Service, so it's going to be your engineer that spams stuff. That's what your Divine Machine Battalion is going to do. For a Whip 14 engineer, that's not awful. That's quite nice. It has to be said. On to the JSA. So we are back on Shinju again. Let's see what new toys are coming in. Now, Shirayuki with a multi-rifle. I completely concur with what Bostria said, that this looks like it should be a character, and it's not. It's just a standard munchkin, but she does look like she should be a character of much awesomeness. Unfortunately, her stats are okay. That's kind of where we get to with her. CC23 is great, BS12 is fine, Fizz 12 is great, Whip 13 is okay, Arm 2 and 1 Vita is fine, Hollow Mask allows for shenanigans, X Vita extends your reach, having shock on your weapon automatically is good, plus 2 inches on the dodge is great, immunity shock is fine, martial arts 4, no wounding cap, religious truth and stealth, these are all useful. With the multi-rifle and nanopulsar being your only options, and 30 points, I feel like you're paying for the martial arts and the CC buff in here, but I don't see me using it, to be honest with you. The X-Visor on the multi-rifle, maybe. The BS, especially with the BS Stack Shock on there and the BS12 natively, I'd possibly be more inclined to use it as a gunfighter. But even then, Arm 2, Vita 1, no wounding cap, yeah, it's not really... This is one thing that I've noticed with some of the Shinju units, is they're not one thing or the other. They're kind of they're kind of fine, but they don't really like rock my socks. However, the Shirayuki does come in a box with some friends of mine who we're going to meet now, who are kind of essential to Shindebutai. The Tanuki. Look at that. That is pretty miniature with the boarding shotgun. That HMG is even prettier. I'm glad these guys look absolutely badass. I really am, because they needed to. Why? Okay. So the Tanuki are part of the Seiyo fire team. In fact, they are essential to form the Seiyo fire team. There can be a duo or a Harris in there within that fire team keyword. And it's the fact that these guys are founding members of it means that I know you can proxy, you know you can proxy, but if, like me, you prefer not to proxy and you want to go and use the actual miniatures, up until this point, you couldn't field the Seiyo, which apparently means action, fire team, which was frustrating. So the Tanuki, Within that fire team, you can also take a Yamabushi as a Sayo and keep it pure, a Rushi as a Sayo and keep it pure as well. And it also lets you take a Jizmarai as well. So that fire team is really, really useful. You can also take a Tanuki with a Mechazoid if you so felt the need, which is, you know, not awful. I kind of like that. Kind of digging that. But let's look at what's interesting about these. So BS 13 is tasty. Whip 13 is okay. Arm 2 is fine. It's not. It's a bit tad, but run with me on this one. BTS 3 is okay. Vita 1 is not ideal. Dodge plus 3. So we're dodging on 14s, which is good. They're immune to shock. Number 2, so when they are forming that Sayo fire team, it's not going to break. Terrain Total and Warhorse. Okay, so we have a boarding shotgun. That gives us chain of command. Now, the Tanuki is the only source of chain of command for Shinden Butai at this point. They are the only ones. So that 18-point little munchkin there, with his chain colt and flash poles, is the only source of chain of command that you've got in this army. So he's kind of pivotal, actually. He's kind of useful because there's quite a few aggressive lieutenants inside of Shinden. Having that failover, really, really useful. You also have the paramedic option with contender and medikit for 20 points. Not awful, terrible by any stretch of imagination. But that heavy machine gun with multispectral visor level 2 for 29 points on 1.5 SWC is kind of kick-ass. Especially because we can take this inside of that Harris, and then you can add in the chain of command, maybe not, but the paramedic, the boarding shotgun. We can get a little specialist in there. We can get a really heavy hitter at the front, and someone else to, you know, to do missions, to cause hassle, to hunt down camouflage units, to do all this kind of good stuff. Yeah, it's a great little unit. I don't think I'd take the lieutenant. That's just me. I know it's 0.5 SWC, woo, cheaper, but I don't think I'd necessarily take it. But it's really good to see the Tanuki in here. And as I say, they're coming in. Those two are coming in a box with the dude at the start, the Shoryuki, which I just mispronounced. But here we are. So yeah, those are really important releases, in my opinion, for Shinden. Then we have the Yamabushi. Oh, I wish I liked this unit. And I wish that one of my good friends hadn't pointed out that he looks like he's being a wizard. It's Gandalf. Anyway, Asian Gandalf. Anyway, let's not go there. This is the Yamabushi with chain rifle and Panzerfaust, to go with the Yamabushi that was in Sandtrap with the tactical bow. So you now have both variants. You can make the paramedic or the camouflage, both variants. Job done. And there are AVA2, so you can take both of them. So it's just amazing. The Yamabushi, this is another example, in my opinion, of JSA nothing burger units. They're kind of something and nothing. It's cheap. That is the good thing about this. And there's a lot of stuff on it for cheap, but it's a little bit all over the shop, in my opinion. So BS11, PH13 is fine for dodging. That's not a problem. The CC23, going back a little bit, that's fine too. With 13, fine. 1 armor, BTS3, okay. Vita 1, yep. CC attack shock, dodge plus 2 inches, dogged, so it takes a bit to kill him. 4 deployment plus 4 inches is okay. Frenzy, yep. Martial arts level 3, yep. Mimetism -3, okay. Religious troop and stealth. There's a lot of stuff there, and what it comes down to is you can take a chain rifle or a tactical bow and a heavy pistol with a DACC weapon for 15 or 16 points. It's a cheap regular order. I think the Senkus are cheaper and will probably free up more stuff. I don't know. I think there's better things available for hitting people in the face than this guy. And I wish I liked it more, but I don't. So that's where we are. So, on to NA2. And we get a new Scarface. Scarface and Cordelia. Mercenaries from way back when. This is another one I wish I liked more. This pose, I get the drama of it, but it does look like he's falling over. Somebody said that online. Whoever it was, I sorry, I don't know who it was, but somebody said this online, and I was like, damn, can't unsee that now. That's a gift for all of you. You are welcome to that. So Joe Scarface Turner is available in lots of flavours of hack and lots of flavours of NA2. As a tag, he's pretty cool. 6'4", CC22, BS13 is nice. Fizz 16 is okay. Whip 13, Arm 7 and 3 structure. BTS 6 is very nice. The Guided -3 and Hacker, Guided -6 and the Hacker -3 is good. +3 to the Berserk. BS attack, SR -1, CC attack -3. And attack aware. It's good. It's good, and you're going to get with the Mark 12 +1 burst and the Heavy Rocket Launcher +1 burst, or the APHMG and Panzerfaust for 58 points, 1.5 SWC, or the AP Spitfire with +1 burst and Panzerfaust. That might be my favourite actually because of the range bands. You kind of want to dare people to get to close combat with him with his CC abilities. He's got a lot of booping to do. Potential survival 4 on the dual action close combat weapon. Please get in close combat with me or I will shoot you with my AP Spitfire. Not pleasant. He has a turtle mech on board, which is fine. And then we have his sister Cordelia. Good old Cordy with a combi rifle. Deactivated Gizmo Kit, Engineer, Mimetism -3. Whip 13 with combi rifle decharges and paramite. She keeps her brother going. She can complete missions. She's got a bit of mimetism on there. If you look at the points for these guys, 1.5 SWC, and if you're taking, let's go back a second. If you're taking the Mark 12 with the Heavy Rocket Launcher, then you look at 80 points. Otherwise, it's 76. And I think I would probably take that Gamma loadout with the AP Spitfire +1 burst and Panzerfaust. I think that would work really well. I think that would be a nice little combination. Engineer and Doom Machine. Yeah, both generating regular orders. Yeah, they're cute. I mean, it's just not widely available. I think if I was running Hack or Kapikauki, I would be tempted to get these guys on there. Are there better options? Maybe. But, you know, do they involve your tag falling over or looking like his? No, they don't. So, you know. But yeah. It's good to see these guys getting a resculpt after all these years, and they've got a bit of a glow up on their loadouts as well, so I think very much worth checking out. Combined Army, the Krakot. Now, supposedly this guy is going to be both plastic resin and metal, and he's giving that dude a very bad day. Unpleasant in the extreme. I love that. I love that sculpt. I love the drama of it. I love the intention of it. Just evil. Absolutely brilliant. And Krakots, if you don't know them, Combined Army, Morat, or Ikari, from memory. They're great. CC23, BS11, PH13, Whip 12, 1 arm, 1 biter, Berserk +3, Dodge +2 inches, 4 deployment +4, re-rolling your meta chemistry because hell to the yes. No cover because you're impetuous, religious trooper, super jumper warhorse. So he's kind of ultra mobile, get right in your face. The chain rifle +1 burst. Everybody's got chest mines on this guy as well. I think, is he a chain rifle? No, he's submachine gun. So he's the submachine gun +1 burst with chest mine for 17 points. Which, yeah, it's not bad. It's not awful. To fit inside of Morat, he kind of makes sense. To fit inside of Combined-ish. Maybe, kinda. Yeah. Krakot Renegade with Red Fury for 24 points and 1 SWC. Loadouts you're never going to take for 10 points. Yeah, BS11 with a Red Fury for 24 points. I'm good. But anyway, I think the submachine gun's interesting. The heavy pistol, 17 points. Not bad at all. Good little unit. And a gorgeous sculpt. Just look at that again. Look at that. Evil. Love it. Who's up next? Ariadna. Oh, dear. The unloved stepchild of N5. Guys, I am just, yeah. I'd love to say things are about to get better. Here we go. The Barsuk. Now, these guys, with the other guys that are about to follow, apparently are coming in a box. So this is going to be a reinforcements sort of beta pack or whatever for Ariadna. Generic and Tartary. Now, this is the heavy flamethrower light shotgun. So cheapest version, 10 points. It's fine. It's fine. 4-2. So, okay, it's slow. But CC 15, BS 11, Fizz 11, can't dodge. Whip, it can't discover anything. Arm 3, it, get it in cover. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. 1 Vita, this is not ideal. Immune to shock, also not ideal. But fire team options, the heavy flamethrower light shotgun, as I say, 10 points. He's something that you can slap into, I guess, a fire team if you were so inclined. Is it necessarily worth it? So the Barsuk can go in with line Kazakhs in Tartary, but he doesn't have the Kazakh keyword, so doesn't really help. Yeah, not overly convinced by that one. I think maybe the 11-point camouflage 1 use with decoy is possibly worth it. That could be some fun, because we can then start spamming out those camo markers and causing more mayhem with more stuff. That's always fun. I think it's cheap. It's a pretty enough miniature, but it's not going anywhere fast. And yeah, it's not a specialist. It's not, here's that phrase again, bit of a nothing burger from where I'm sat. Then we have the conductors. Look at the size of that wrench. Remember that wrench? That's going to become relevant in a minute. Appears to have antipode ears tied around his neck, which is nice. Trans-Tartaric Railway Troops. Guess who they are for? And we have the other conductor with rifle. Ta-da! So again, generic and Tartary. Again, these can go into a line Kazakh fire team, but they don't have the keywords, so you're losing, or you're not gaining buffs for that. So Captain Pokey with the big wrench at the start, I guess. You can use them as anything you want. Chain rifle, shock marksman rifle, whatever you fancy. But let's look at his stats. 4-4 moving, CC 15, BS 10. Getting Metro flashbacks for you people old enough to know what Metro is. Anyway, PH 11, Whip 12, Arm 1, Vita 1. It's the cheapest chips line infantry. But availability 1. I think that's in generic that I took this from. I wonder what they are. AVA 2 in Tartary. So you're not going to get many of these anyway. So the FTO version with chain rifle and shock mines for 7 points is not awful. BS attack +2 with the shock marksman rifle. Suddenly he's BS 12. This isn't awful for 16 points. The rifle with flaming spear, camouflage 1 and infiltration. This is a very, very Ariadna trick, and I kind of like that. That's kind of cute. And then the paramedic version for 10 points. He's not awful. It's not great. I think the best possibly out of the lot is probably the flaming spear, but if I had the option, I'd rather have a Panzerfaust. But for 12 points, the flaming spear, camouflage, 1 use, infiltration. Yeah, it's awful. It's fine. When I've built Tartary lists, I've never been hankering for more cheap stuff. Tartary's not, or historically has not been that expensive, so giving more cheap options for Tartary, I'm sure it would be welcome. I think possibly that 1 use camo with flaming spear is interesting, but I don't think it's really sort of world changing. And then these are fine, they're nice enough. In fact, he's got the flaming spear on his back, although it looks suspiciously like a Panzerfaust. But I'm guessing that's the flaming spear. It's a nice enough miniature, but yeah, it's okay. It's an okay build, and if you've got some points spare, slapping one of these in there, not necessarily an awful choice. Would I necessarily go out and buy a box with 2 of them, plus our little friend at the start here, the Barsuk? Possibly not. And also, the size of that wrench, that turns out to just be a CC weapon with a sort of standard damage amount on the CC 15. I'd have hoped for more. It looks like it should have some type of damage modifier to close combat for that. It's a huge thing. You get donked on the head with that, you know, and all about it. I mean, look at it. Look at it. Anyway. Then we are on to the mission pack 15, Barren Lands. So unsurprisingly, we're on Shinji. Which factions are involved? I wonder. Bippy's back. Bipandra is in the house. This is a remake of a classic miniature. And now she has a face mask. Which is cool. Although, I'm sorry, but it does look like she's doing that thing. If you remember during the pandemic, especially during the start, if you had a face mask on, you needed to sneeze. You did that, and then you realised just before it happened what was about to happen, and it was not. Sneezing in a face mask is never fun. I'm sorry, Bippy, but it does look like you're just having a bit of a moment there. Right, let's look at her stats. So, 4-4 movement, CC 17, BS 12, Phys 11, Whip 13, 2 arm, 3 BTS, and 1 fighter. She's a doctor with Whip 13 and a reroll -3. So if it all goes horribly sideways, you can then reroll at -3. This is fine. Yeah, that's nice enough. Dodge +1 inch is cool. Immunity to shock is fine. Load out the combi rifle nano pulse +1 and medikit +1, 23 points is not bad for a doctor. She's fine. The tack aware version for 25 points, that extra sweet order on a doctor. Again, that's quite tasty. She has, as you can see there, now joined up to Kestrel. So she, bless little cotton socks, she is, I believe, she's a wild card with Fennec or Kestrel keywords. So what she can do is she can draw on a group of Fennec Fusiliers to give them a decent doctor and a Griffin. So you can get a core fire team there with a decent doctor in it, plus whatever Fennec you can stuff in, and then Griffin. Which interestingly actually means you could get to a full 5 trooper core now with the 3 Fennecs in Sandtrap, plus the Griffin that's in there, and the Pandra will get you to a full 5 dude. One. And for Kestrel, you can mix her in with either Fireflies, Griffins, or a combination thereof, and keep pure keyword. So you will get the bonuses that go with all that, which is not bad. That's not awful, I have to say. So she's quite tasty. The ability to do that fire team work is pretty tasty. 23, 25 points. Yeah. Bippy has always been good-ish. I think possibly she's now good. She always used to be a little bit too expensive. Now I think she's okay because of what the extra stuff, like the extra burst on the medikit, the extra reroll, the tack aware option, and how she can fire team up. I think she's just, I think she's got into sort of good territory now. So that's nice to see. Good job, Bippy. And then we have Yuriko Oda. I prefer the old one. I don't know why. I wish I could tell you why. Love her face masks. I don't know. She's just a bit skinny on top with those big trousers. Anyway, by the by, as a unit, 4-4, CC15, BS12, Phys 11. Oh, great. Whip 13. 1 arm, BTS3, and 1 Vita. Deactivated Gizmo kit. No surprise, we're looking at an engineer here. Courage, dodge +3, so she actually dodges on a 14, which is good, and has +1 inch dodge, which is nice. Mimetism -3 is tasty, and Mine Lair is also tasty, especially because she, as you see below, has shock mines with 0 SWC. So we have 0 SWC, Mine Lair. No, well, apart from this, so we've got 1 forward deployment option where you get the 0.5 SWC. Anyway, let's look at these loadouts. The FTOs that can be fire teamed up: Copper Rifle emitter decharges shock mine for 25 points, or Copper Rifle Panzerfaust decharges shock mines for 23 points. Not bad. BS12 is not awful, especially with the Panzerfaust. That would be fine. And then we have the forward deployment +8 inches, combi emitter decharges shock mine, 0.5 SWC and 28 points. The FTO versions are wildcards, and they don't come with any. They don't come with any keywords, and they can only go into Senku fire teams. So she could be better. but she can go into all flavours of JSA. She can go to all flavours of JSA, so yeah, she's going to be a useful miniature, and that Panzerfaust, 23-point Panzerfaust on BS12 is not awful. BS-3, yeah, she's good enough. I think she's always been okay, and she's just kind of okay now, rather than absolutely amazing. It's interesting to see that, you know, she's at 23 points here as an engineer with no reroll, and we have a 23-point doctor over here with a reroll. Now, yes, she does have Panzerfaust and mines and mine layer and mimetism. I get that, but yeah, if you take them as a specialist, I'd rather have the reroll than the Panzerfaust. Anyway, by the by, she's a cute miniature. It's nice they've been updated, but I'm still not a huge fan of how she looks with the big trousers. Anyway, this is the HVT that goes in there. So you always get an HVT with the DIFO set, and here was only one. But that's the thing. So if you need more HVTs to HVT with, then HVT away. Now we've got updates to ITS. We have our usual mid-season glow up. This is going to be available late April, as it says there. So all the same goodness that we've got at the moment, but with 2 new special edition miniatures, because having 1 special edition miniature is not enough in the form of the digger. We need an extra one. We've had an extra one in previous years, but now we need an extra one to go with the extra one that goes with the special edition. And here we have a Santiago Knight Hacker. He's pretty. I know Gio, a good friend of mine, Gio, Mean Green Minis, who'll be currently caressing the screen inappropriately at the sight of that guy, is a very pretty miniature, has to be said. And then we have a new Wrecker for Torchlight 012. If you like your Wreckers and you want to run more than one, this is a good option. If you, because they are AVA2, if you haven't got a Wrecker yet, this is a good option. You know, it's yeah. I think actually I prefer this sort of pose to the original. I think it's, yeah, possibly a little bit better. But anyway, it's a very cool miniature. It's nice that we're getting them. Apparently they're also going to be the plastic resin unicorn stuff, so that's quite cool. And last but not least, we have the fact that USAriadna is coming in the medium term. What does the medium term mean? I'm guessing next year. I'm guessing that's what we're going to get here with next year. So we're going to look at new miniatures, I'm guessing, and new profiles. Just imagine what's happening with ISS at the moment, the Imperial Service, and make it USAriadna. That's what I would anticipate to see there, to be honest with you. And that's fine. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. This goes at the very end because I am the least fussed by this. USAriadna, I remember when they came out, and it was like, oh yeah, this is going to be so cool. And then they touched down and it was like, nah, that's fine. It's a different flavour of Ariadna with some stupid stuff in it. Grunts with heavy flamethrowers for very few points and stuff full of armour and stuff. They were fine. I'll be interested to see if this time CB can carve a niche for these guys that fits them into Ariadna while making them interesting within the game. So keeping their sort of the roots of where they came from, but also making them really interesting and potent, because I didn't think that USAriadna, they had some gimmicks, but they were never interesting. They were never interesting to play with or play against. And they were never particularly potent. They were always kind of, eh. I'd like to see them come back with some real potency and some real flavour. I want to smell the cheeseburgers coming out of that box before I open it. That's where I am, people. So yeah, I mean, this is midterm, so I guess we're going to be seeing this in 12 months' time. I'm guessing we're getting the lead in for that, which is cool. We'll see what happens. Let's see what CB can pull out of their hat for this one. But I believe that was the end of the seminar. Overall, I think the next 3 months we've got some really important units that are dropping that fit in certain spaces that exist inside of certain armies. I think the Wooming for ISS are going to be important. I think the Tanuki for Shinden Butai are crucial. Bipandra, potentially, for Kestrel players, is going to be really, really useful as well. And yes, I'm going to say it, I think the drummers for Kestrel are also going to be really cool. I don't want to play against them, but I'm going to like seeing them on the table. It's a very, very sort of different thing. As for the bikes, it's interesting to see them. As I said at the time, I'm not convinced. I'm not really, I think fluffy, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Where do you think the bikes fit? What was your favourite thing from Adepticon this year? What was a hit? What was a miss? What did you love? What did you hate? Let me know in the comments below. And aside from that, thanks for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Goodbye.